Hi there, this is Jim the Keys, bartender. Come and talk. We can go right into it. This is the beauty of the show, Josh. We're coming from the catch. No, wait. Oh, you don't want to talk about that?
Oh, no, but because we were...
I'm here with Josh and Papa Joe. Say hi first.
Hi. How's it going?
Okay.
Well,
we were just in a conversation, and I, like a douchebag, I just started. Yeah. I said, you know what?
Josh, unveil your secrets, buddy.
Well, you don't want to. You don't
Go
have to
for
talk
it.
about it.
No. It's okay. I'm not ashamed of it or anything. I just didn't know if you wanted to.
Okay, you gave this 12-year-old girl a ride in your car. You were telling
yeah.
me. She
really needed a ride, though.
And you said she was cute.
No,
she looked older. She looked like she was 17.
He's completely
I just made it up.
things.
Yeah, made up. Yeah.
Did you ride her?
Oh no! Oh, Jesus Christ!
I used that pickup line I told you about on her.
No.
You remember that pickup line?
Which is?
I meant that as a joke, fabricating.
Oh, no. You want to hear the pickup line?
What?
I went, damn, girl. Is that at the school? Because I want to shoot some kids in it.
Oh, my God.
Oh, okay. God.
No?
Yeah, you did say that, and I laughed my ass off.
That's cringe comedy.
It worked on her.
Okay. No, you were talking about a hat you wear?
No, it was a shirt I bought just because there's a guy at a place that I frequent here, CJ's, Cactus Jack's in Key Largo. And he's always in there, and he's always he treats his politics like a sports team. Like, he's always wearing the swag. You know what I mean? He's got the hat. What's funny about it is he's got the tank top, no sleeves involved. So can you guess what kind of shirt it is?
Make America gross again.
Yeah. So I went on and I was like, I'm going to find a shirt that will piss him off more than anything. Yeah. And I almost wore it today, but then I was, I don't know.
Was it Hillary?
Sometimes when I'm hanging out with my girlfriend, she likes the shirt, but she doesn't want conflict when I go anywhere.
Yeah.
No, it's this really great cartoon drawing, and it's Colin Kaepernick kneeling. Yeah. But his knee is right in Donald Trump's mouth as he's laying on the ground, and
I think that's an awesome
shirt. Goes past his thing, and he's just So it's so that was what I was gonna say.
Oh, okay.
So I bought that shirt just to piss him off because I got tired of him coming in.
We had a guy the other night was sitting at the bar, and he was going through all the usual arguments. First, they started talking about the flooding over Steel Right Point. Then he uses science. Uses science to describe how the sun, the moon, and the high tide are all lined up, and it's creating a stronger king tide. And so he's using science there. Then he goes back against science, but he goes, this happens no matter whatever we're doing. And then he says mainly cattle provide the most gas in the world and the most harmful emissions in the world, not humans. And there's more. He said 80 times more or something ridiculous, 40 times as many cattle as there are humans. And he goes, that includes herds. I'm like, there's no fucking big herds of animals anymore, any fucking place in the world anymore. They're virtually extinct now. The Cape buffalo and all that shit. There's no water buffalo, right? Oh, yeah. There's not the ocean of water buffalo charging across the plains.
There's
anymore.
not an ocean of buffalo.
So he's saying there's
not an ocean of any.
64 billion cattle are doing it, and I hope he was going to say that it's mainly from the forest, but it's not. They belch. Actually, he's belching. That's it. So the guy's using, and so he uses that science, and he goes, "There's nothing we could do to ever alter that." And he got like this and then he starts using science and said, "So, okay, where'd you get your science from, my friend? What scientists? And so, why those scientists? Why not the 97% of the other scientists that are telling you the opposite?" I'm good. Yeah. Oh, you want anything?
Good.
Oh, thanks. Oh, that was Lala. We were at the Touch restaurant.
Did you also ask him why he thinks the Earth is flat?
He didn't ask about the flat Earth thing. But it's in there. But there's a guy. There was a guy.
The globe is flat.
Yeah, it's like that scene with all the buffalo going over the cliff. You know, they used to have their just do that.
What's the meme? If we have cats, they would have clearly pushed everything over the edge.
Oh yeah, I mean, the guy sitting across the bar from him was reading the newspaper, and he just kept on looking up and shaking his head. Kept on looking up and shaking his head, and the guy's doing that, and the other guy's in agreement. And they're talking, and they talk loud enough so everyone can hear them.
Sure.
Go like this.
They like to do that.
So okay. Oh well, hey, listen, we realize that you're not. You're like the opposite of a scientist. You're like one of those medieval dentists. Remember? Remember what was that? A medieval barber, Steve Martin, medieval barber.
On Saturday Night Live, yes.
There was a character called Steve Martin, a medieval barber. So someone would come in. I'm having these horrible pains in my stomach. Put these 12 leeches on you, and then I'm going to let out some of your blood. And he kept on. Everything was bloodletting and leeches and this. And then finally he goes, you're supposed to heal people, but every time someone comes in, they get worse and they die. And then he just goes out and does a soliloquy and goes, maybe through experimentation and testing, I can, just gain some more knowledge of the human body. And maybe through trial and error, we can stop this brutality. And he goes, maybe. And then he holds it and goes, nah. And it goes back. More blood.
More blood.
Yeah. So, yeah, they're not going to do it.
They're all like the Odoric of York.
Yeah. Odoric of York.
Odoric of York. Remember that Saturday Night Live routine?
That was Mike Myers.
Mike Myers. Odoric of York.
Yeah.
It's a similar premise.
Hildar of the Hill People.
I remember Hildar.
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 Yeah, well, that was another one.
Of the Hill People.
Well, that's like what you're talking to.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, pick up a book.
Yeah. They read the books. They only read approved books and stuff like that.
I'm not so sure they read, my friend.
Yeah. See, we don't burn your books. We don't burn. We don't believe in book burnings.
Yeah, no. Book burning's bad.
We don't burn your books. We don't even burn Mein Kampf.
Yeah.
We don't necessarily have to go out and buy it and have it sitting around the house all over the place like you guys might have. But we don't burn it. We don't burn it because that's freedom. That's freedom of speech. When you have it available. We don't burn the Turner Diaries. Yeah. You can buy the Turner Diaries on. That's the fantasies, the ravings of who is it? George Rockwell, something. The founder of the American Nazi Party or something like that. That's the Turner Diaries. It was about a fantasy of a future where a white nationalist group, they steal an atomic bomb and they fly a biplane and. Over, I don't know if I didn't even read it, but I know this story.
Have you been watching The Watchmen? Because that sounds.
The Watchmen I've been watching. It just blew my mind too, and that's how.
Because that show has been one of the best shows I've seen.
No, but I don't know where it's going with it.
Oh,
because
nobody knows.
No, we're done.
You're left at the end of the episode going, huh?
What? Yeah, you're like.
But I love.
Wait a second. Is that I'm not going to get? I want to be.
Yeah. We're not going to get too far into it. I was just going to say.
No, I didn't want to get into it because if you want to get a chance, I mean, I don't know where. I just saw the last episode. Right at the end, go. What happened? All of a sudden, they showed the American hero story.
Yeah,
they were watching it, and they showed it
that throughout the series.
A little bit of it, and you see it, and then they come back and say, why would they have to hide the color of that guy? But they made him out to be he was gay in a time.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I kind of like that little
but then they kept it
twist in there.
And in the end, I go, oh, they lied about it. He wasn't gay, he was black. And I said, no.
He was both.
He was both.
They just don't want
they didn't want him to know he was black. They didn't give him. I mean, like, what kind of fucking message
I
are
think
they?
We've lost a lot of people at this point.
No, we lost it.
We not have finished the message.
It's kind of like Twin Peaks. I'm sure, there weren't podcasts back then. But if you were looking, so the message, you don't know where they're going with it.
Not at all.
It's fucking crazy. Redford's president, Robert Redford's president.
Well, I think they make that as a joke because it's some other famous person who happens to be president at the same time as now.
Yeah, but Redford actually is fucking intelligent guy.
He escaped from that prison in that one movie.
Yeah.
He can't be that stupid.
Can't be that dumb.
Wait. Which prison movie? The Castle movie? The last Castle?
Yeah.
He escaped from that?
Did he? I don't remember the end.
I don't think it was one of those movies like that.
Oh, do you think he died trying to escape?
No. He was a disgraced. I saw part of it. I was wondering where the background was about. He was a disgraced general.
Talking about a movie neither of us have obviously seen all the
court-martial. I saw only half of it.
You can finish it.
Because I saw right before work.
All the same.
I did. No, but he goes in there. Yeah. But I think that the turning point of it is not him escaping. He's leading the other prisoners into finding their dignity again. Sure. I think they're talking about judicial reform, and it's kind of it goes in hand with judicial reform. And there's big movements going on where prosecutors are coming around and say, maybe putting these nonviolent criminals in prison for certain things. Like they mentioned, one of the things is traffic offenses. If you unpaid traffic tickets,
yeah.
Why the fuck you? I mean, some accountants or people that aren't accountant go, wait, how much does it cost to house someone like that? And how much did they owe? And what are we generating? Well, since we privatized prison, we're not generating anything. We're paying to them. So you lost the ability to recoup any of the fines, and you're paying more. So it's kind of, remember we were talking about capitalism and stuff like that?
Yeah.
It's like anti-capitalism. That's vindictive bullshit, man, when you do that. It's like, what was it? Like the fucking Romans did to Carthage, right? When they defeated Carthage, where'd they go? What'd they do? They sowed salt on the plains so they couldn't
They couldn't grow, so they couldn't eat.
Couldn't eat.
Right, they starved them out. They destroyed them.
Motherfuckers, man.
Hey, we won, but now we're going to starve you.
No, but everyone, anyone in the end, the best, some of the best generals are the most inhumane motherfuckers in the world.
Sure.
And he always kind of gentle them later on, like, he cried. He cried for the dying of his men. Fucking Civil War, man. They used to send people walking right into musket fire, cannon fire. Just when the sharpshooters were getting better, and there was like thousands of guys falling in one charge. Where now if we lose 1,000 guys in any military operation, it's the level of brutality in the Civil War was amazing. And then it got the scale got bigger in World War I than World War II. And to go and say that people cannot fucking empathize. They can't.
It's almost hard to wrap your head around
what?
Large battles. If you go to a battlefield, like if you go to Gettysburg, and if you just stare at the fields of Gettysburg, now you have when I went there, I had the itinerary of the 3 days of battle. So I actually...
Did you have it on your phone or something?
No, it was a book.
A book?
And
What's a book?
It was a book. It's true. I actually read stuff that has paper in it.
Was it on your phone?
No, I carried it with me.
You have a
in my hand.
Oh, jeez.
I was doing that as a joke, and you jumped on it. It's funny. See, it's well, actually,
no, but the point is,
I'm playing the role of a 30-year-old. A book.
A book.
What's a book?
No, but yes, it's true. I had a book and I had to flip pages.
I resent that remark.
And then you look at the layout, and then you read the piles of bodies and where they were, and you're staring at where they were, and you see the battlefield, and you read the accounts of them in mass charging the battlefield and just falling dead. And then there's a ravine. It's not a big one. It's just got a little divot, and it was knee high in blood. And then, but you fill in the blanks as you're looking at this, and you think, what lunatic carrying a musket would who wouldn't tell their general, screw off, man? No way. Look at what's in front of us, dude. There's dead. But no, that was all they knew, and they had no choice. But the level of destruction and carnage, you can't wrap your head around it. Not to mention, days later, those bodies are now bloated and stinking and full of flies and maggots. Can you imagine what that scene looks like?
Yeah.
These are unnatural things. You can't wrap your head around. It's like saying X amount of miles to Mars. Can we really wrap our head around just how far that is? No,
well,
I don't think so.
I say the number, but I can't wrap my head around it. It's not like I have any...
We have no frame of reference.
Hey, wait, listen. How far of a leap is it to be able to kill somebody just there and be okay with it?
Ooh.
If it's a huge leap, it's a huge leap to go from being a regular person and then being okay with killing another man or woman or child, and then what's it matter if it's a million people?
I don't know.
Because once then you already denied their personhood, like have any empathy or comparison between you and them. So when you see a Nazi, just take out, when you show this thing, there's still pictures of people shooting. Guys that posed. There's guys that posed for pictures killing people.
Hey, check out what I did.
No, right there.
Well,
and they were
saying,
killing a civilian. They were killing a civilian. Yeah. It happened in Vietnam, too.
Oh, yeah.
Where they do it and stuff. Post for the picture.
Then,
I mean, there was a guy, actually, there's a big story going on now where the guy.
Right? In Vietnam, they have
Polaroids?
I don't know. I'm young.
What were you saying?
In Vietnam, did they have Polaroids?
Yes, they would have had Polaroids.
That's what I'm saying. They would have been right away. Instant gratification.
No, but once you're
closest thing to a selfie.
You just recognize once you're okay with that, they're okay. Anybody's able to do that and be okay with it at the end of the day. I'm not saying in battle when someone's coming at you and stuff like that. That's different. And there's a whole theory behind how to solve international conflicts necessarily. Maybe you shouldn't be with that kind of... That's when you fail at diplomacy. They always say that military action is a failure. Now, obviously, if you got pirates...
Can I ask
pirates? You can't fucking...
With your... I don't know if I'd call it an analogy that you're saying right now, but... You're talking about like one person's just kill that person.
They can kill everyone.
You're implying that like somebody would feel bad about that. Like they would kill the one person and feel bad about that, but they can't wrap their heads around killing.
No, that they can do that and do it. Once they can do that, they could do all of it.
Because I get in this little argument a lot since we started this whole podcast all kind of off the rails politically a little bit. Mm-hmm. I get in this conversation a lot with people, gun owners especially, where they'll be, anybody try to rob me, I'm going to kill him. Anybody try to rob, and so I'll be like, so if you walk downstairs and somebody has your TV in their hands and they see you and they turn to run away, you're going to kill them. And they're like,
that's where we've gone.
Where I just get this disconnect. I get this disconnect.
Now,
I would be like, take my TV. Because I don't know. Not only do I not want to take somebody's life,
see,
I wouldn't. I mean, you're not going to lose. You're not going to lose. You're not going to win that philosophical argument with that person.
Though.
It's just it's
if you're coming at me and you're about to kill me, and I kill you first.
Different story.
Yeah, but when I tell them, you're breaking my house, I'm going to kill you. Break in your house.
Break in my house.
You break in my house.
You're not going to.
That's a little different.
No.
Than if I see
if I have a gun, I should be able to chase you off.
No, but but I have to give this other thing. Or let's make it another analogy.
Just multiple times.
How about if you try to break into someone's car, which is not.
It's a conveyance. It's not a house.
It's not a house, and break in a car and they go and do it.
Have you seen American History X?
Yeah. Breaking in a car. Now that's a straight up property crime. There's no intention of doing that. Now that's straight out. You make them think like that, and then they got to commit to it. Now in the house, I agree with you. Guys walking out with the television, go like this. Drop put the television down, lay on the ground, and
I don't even think I'd say anything. I think I'd just let him leave. I think I'd just be like, okay, he's not trying to hurt me. Let him leave with even if I had a gun. Just let him leave with the TV, call the police, and...
I see it a little differently.
No, I would keep him.
I would see it a little differently.
I would keep him on the ground. I'd put him on the ground.
If you've broke into a house, you've committed one of the highest crimes there are.
Sure.
So the burglary to an occupied dwelling, or even unoccupied, it's burglary. You're entering
Police don't do that when they catch you. They don't...
No. And that the problem is, and I think
they say drop your weapon,
is when you buy a gun, no one tells you this. No one tells you this shit. No one trains you. Here's a gun.
Sure, yeah, no,
and now you're empowered, right? That's the assumption. I'm empowered now to protect myself. Well, what does that mean? Well, it means a lot, and no one's telling you what it means, that there are very fine lines, and should you cross them without thinking, you're going to be probably on death row or in life in prison for defending your TV. So the problem is, you break into a house, that's a real serious felony.
Yeah.
That requires... Well, it doesn't require anything, but it opens the door to me now protecting.
Yes.
Because certain legal assumptions are made. You've broke into my house. I am now to assume, and legally can assume, you're going to seriously hurt me.
Yeah.
Okay, so my level of defense, my pushback is up to and including deadly force when you break into my house.
Sure.
Now, whether you do or not, but, okay, as soon as the threat leaves... all those circumstances change.
Yeah. Now, see, that's why I would use the analogy with a vehicle.
The TV, I would feel, because of my training, obligated to stop him, hold him, and bring him to justice.
Yeah.
Shoot him? No, not unless he turns around and a new threat is imposed.
But I think that's kind of my point where I think I would just let him go if it's just my TV.
There's no right or wrong
the
answer.
moment that I confront him and make him turn around, that just upped the probability that he's going to do something to make me shoot him.
And if you don't have the training, and if you don't
not want to shoot him, so
correct.
Bye. As long as you're just leaving with my TV, I can live with that.
And when you buy a gun, no one tells you these
Somebody
things.
tells you got to be able to think.
So what's the reaction? I have a gun, I'll just shoot you.
Bam.
And they see it in the movies. The movies are actually instructing them on how to do it.
In Florida, there was a guy that broke into another guy's garage, and he had a parrot in his garage, and the parrot alerted the owner, and the owner, without knowing anything, just walked out and shot the guy in his garage. This is a completely true story.
Okay, well,
6-7 years ago or something like that. That guy is now in prison.
I'm talking about the classic story where you hear a crash, windows broken, someone's in your house. You're in your house. You have family members there. It's going to be real hard. No, I don't know. I don't know. But your family, you feel threatened if you got if you have a child and there's someone. If I'm not here, if I'm not here to protect, I don't know what that guy's going to do if there's someone else and stuff like that.
Sure.
Your head, they just shocked you and stuff like that. Now, there's a lot of times where they make a mistake where someone breaks in and it's a family member that's coming in late. They don't know or something drunk or something like that. You can wind up doing it. But there's that's why I would make when I say I would make it a pure property crime outside the residence, and then you find it sound how the person is their intention, their wet dream, just killing somebody. You know, like a fucking trophy hunter.
Oh yeah.
Like that. So okay, my bike's outside my house, unlocked. Someone comes and takes my bike. I see that my motion sensors outside go. The person's walking the bike away. The least, they're like, you're fucking taking my property and stuff like that. But doesn't warrant death, really. Because it's not even a Hammurabi law. You still will take your bike or whatever, something like that, or your feet or something like that. But at that point, you're going like the guy's getting on your bike, and you run after him, and that thing when he's fleeing with the bike. You can make the assumption. Your quick thing is, well, they're not coming back. They're not getting a bike, getting their friends, coming back and killing my family. They're just stealing the bike. You made that decision. That's the one where you can sound out with someone. What exactly do they want to do? The in-the-house thing when you have family and stuff like that, geez, emotional decisions are so hard. To make that.
Sure.
I would never get in discussion, and they always make it like that. What if a home invasion occurs and someone has a gun? Oh, God, of course, classic. You can make it a classic one. Make the argument beneficial to your side, because once they break through that door and stuff like that, you don't know their intention. You do not know their intention because they did violate the sanctity of the house.
Yeah.
They did violate. Imagine if you're at a, let's say, Burning Man. Do they still do that after that guy ran into the fucking fire?
I think they still do it.
Yeah. And they have tents and shit like that. Someone's on acid and they're drinking tequila and shit like that, and they go all fucked up and they walk into the wrong tent. That happens. Got to be all. And look at this. It's the same tent I have. You know, like that. You ever get lost when you were drunk?
Sure.
No, never.
I spent
Florida, Georgia, Jacksonville, Florida.
I spent 4 hours walking around Wildwood, New Jersey. Couldn't find a house I was staying in. I walked around. I must have walked by the street like 5 times. I went maybe 20 miles going around there. And then finally walked it off, and I go, oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, fucking. Like one of those guys that return to Mecca and walk around the fucking
round and round there. Where the hell is this thing?
There's one. Do that. Hey, don't do a jihad on us.
I've already.
Let's end for a short break.
Well, that's fine. I just want to say that's actually what I do whenever I'm drunk on Duval Street in Key West. If I'm too drunk to walk, I lay down and roll down the sidewalk, and if a cop comes up to me, I just tell him that I'm a fucking monk and that I don't walk anywhere and that this is how I get around.
I'm a rolling monk.
I just roll. There's a guy that does it in India, I think. Yeah, so I just ripped him off.
Well, this guy is a
Buddhist monk.
I just walk. I just roll, I just roll around.
With glass and... Oh, shit. That's such a dry, harsh place to roll around. And dirty place.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Not dirty because there's sanitation. Not because the people are dirty.
Jim,
there's not a lot of clean water.
The time I went there with you, do you remember the time me, you, and a couple of friends of ours
were in India?
Not India.
Oh, I'm talking about India.
Oh, I thought you were Key West. I was like, yeah, that's a dirty, hard place to roll around,
too. Key West. I'm at India.
Remember?
I said, fucking rolling around India. Not that hey, my apologies to any Indians listening to this, but you do have a bad reputation for sanitation and raw sewage and the Ganges River and all that stuff.
But so does Duval Street. So
Duval Street does. Yeah, there's a lot of fucking
we got separated
discarded. We got. Well, let's come back. Let's come back. Hold that.
No, let me finish my thought.
We got a long story. We got a bunch of stories I want to talk about that.
Oh,
hold on.
Okay.
Hold it.
If you want to get your information about the Florida Keys straight from the locals who live here and the ones who love it here, we've got you covered. Visit 43keys.com as your source for everything Florida Keys. Sign up for our newsletter and you'll always be up to date on all the Keysy stuff that's going on down here. Go to 43keys.com. That's the number 4, the number 3, keys.com, and sign up today.
Hey, and then we're back in Joshua. We were in Key West about 6 years ago. 7 years ago.
Maybe, yeah, something like
7
that.
years ago. 8 years ago. And we were out drinking. We don't have to say where we were drinking.
we were on Duval Street.
We had a great earlier in the day. After you're done, I want to talk about the worst.
Pool?
No, I want to tell. We're not going to tell the stories.
Well, I'm about to tell a story.
No, this story. I'm not saying we're not going to tell the stories we told each other. I want to talk about the thing that happened in the motel room.
Gotcha.
Okay, we had a contest about the worst thing that ever happened to us. Okay, but we're not going to talk about what we said. Okay.
Sure. Am I going to finish my story? That people were, they're listening. They're like, oh, he was talking. I want to know what
I'm building up a little thing. We were fucking Key West. We were drinking. Oh, my God. It was a beautiful night, too. It was such a lovely night.
We had a great time.
We started at, where did we start? At the Hog's Breath?
No, we started at the pool at Dante's. Right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Dante's with the bar and the pool. We started there. We got in the pool and had Bloody Marys and stuff early. And then I think our next stop after that was Fat Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And that's where Ernesto fell in love with the waitress that he talked about the rest of the night.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. But what were you going to say? What else?
No, that was it. We left. We drank.
Fast forward. My whole story was fast forwarded. I was just talking about the guy that rolls around all the time.
No, I know. But you went. What last thing you remember?
The last thing I
remember before you tell the story. Right? You were doing this, and before you fell on the ground. What were you doing? What were you attempting to do? You were leaving the bar and you were trying
to just get back to the hotel room.
Did you know where the hotel room was?
I just knew it was that away.
It's Key West.
The great thing about Key West,
Duval Street, it's right or left. I knew it was that away.
It was right off Duval Street.
Yeah, so we're staying right off Duval Street,
and I think it was north of it.
And yeah, it was north. It ended up being north. I went the right way. I mean, congratulations to me.
Yeah.
But knowing how intoxicated I was, and we had all gotten separated at this point, knowing how intoxicated I was, I went one block up the street and then started heading in the direction because I didn't want to walk where all the eyeballs are on me. And I think I probably got about 2 blocks before I stumbled and fell down. And this really kind of it hurt me when I think about humanity because I fell down and I'm pretty sure I ate it pretty hard. I didn't feel anything at the moment.
Yeah.
But I couldn't get up, and as I was trying to get up, I kept having random people just step over me and not offer me help, and just people were kind of just making comments and stuff. And so that's where my idea now to roll.
Okay.
To roll around. So after that experience, now I think anytime I fall down, I'm just going to start rolling.
Where'd you get the idea from? Where'd you get the idea to roll? Where you said something about the guy, and he's a yogi, I guess, or something like that?
Yeah, there's a guy. I'm going to forget what exactly country he's in. So
India, you said kind of like India
or something
Pakistan.
Like that. But the guy actually,
it had
his
to be
whole
India,
thing is he rolls everywhere. He just rolls on the ground everywhere that he goes, and people follow him around. And then
What does that do for him?
I don't know.
Is it kind of like a reincarnation thing? Circle?
I think it's one of those self-deprecating things that monks and stuff do, where it's just like, I'm going to take away this ability.
Just short of lighting themselves on fire?
Yeah, exactly.
Let me roll around before I...
Hey. It's
immolate myself.
Fire. Can I just roll around the rest of my life? Hey, is that okay with you?
Never get
oh,
caught.
shit, he's on fire. I think he said yes in the flames. I'm going to just roll.
Let's see. There's a choice. Immolate
but he wasn't,
or roll.
I'm
picking roll.
How many fucking pieces of gum are stuck to that
dude? It's on the same level.
It's like a condom.
I'm going to roll right into the
and
cow
all
shit.
of a sudden, a needle.
Yeah.
Well, there's the guy out there that claims he never eats anything and gets all the nutrition.
Remember the guy?
He's a sun gazer.
No, wait. The guy we worked with.
He gets his antioxidants from putting his bare feet in the grass. He stares at the sun at certain times of day.
Josh, that was the guy we worked with. There was a guy we worked with. Remember the Satan worshiper? He believed that.
Oh, the guy. Yeah.
He believed all this stuff, and he goes. I said, I think we developed as a higher organism. We didn't develop photosynthesis like plants have, the ability to do it, and that's not your decision.
This guy
you could probably, if you could evolutionary or tweak it genetically, you probably could get it, but I don't think you'd be able to develop the amount of calories that animals need to ingest things in order to get the amount of calories. Oh, thanks a lot, asshole. You need to hit that horn, right?
Yeah, vitamin D is not a calorie. It's not like sustenance. You can't.
Well, no, you have to treat it and you have to do something with it. They're actually using carbon.
Oh, and I just want to correct you real quick. He was a Satanist. He didn't believe in Satan. There's a right?
Oh, yeah.
Like you realize that people who are satanic don't believe in God.
No, they don't believe. Yeah,
most Satanists don't. Most Satanists don't.
Well, he had an imperfect.
They're humanists.
Yeah.
That's why I want to clarify. Satanist.
He had it.
Is
they
not
use
what
the
people think.
moniker as like in your face kind of thing. But they're mostly
he wasn't the most complex of individuals.
No, I don't think he was that.
He took it.
You're right. He might have actually got home and fucking kneeled down to.
What does he read in his spare time?
He was doing this. I mean, there's the church. The Church of Satan actually is tweaking. When people post the 10 Commandments out and shit like that, they put the picture of the goat god, whatever, out something because
whatever.
Well, if we can, we're gonna. Okay, you're gonna do it. We're gonna form our own church.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're like freaking out, and they go, they're making it up to piss you off.
It's like the Pastafarians.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking. It's just the same thing as the Pastafarians.
But it's an important form of speech. Listen, you can't say we're going to support this theology.
Yeah.
With the price you end up paying when you open that door, when government sanctions that, is okay. Now you're going to have to support Satanism. So if you want a prayer meeting in school, Mr. Christian nationalist, you're going to have a Satan prayer meeting in school. And every time that's happened, there's been a recoil and let's rethink this. Why didn't you think about it before?
Why do you think?
Because they don't read and they don't think.
No, they don't know their history. There was a large migration of people here from Europe, from Germany, and it was religious wars. It was Protestants and Catholics.
Yeah.
Germany was. It wasn't Germany. I told you I watched that Catherine the Great.
Did you tell me that?
I watched the Catherine the Great, and he referred to Germany, and he said, "There is no fucking Germany."
City-states, weren't they?
No, there's no Germany. Like there wasn't a unified German state until around the same time Italy formed. It was Bismarck was the one that did it. It was 1860s to the 1870s. Same thing with Garibaldi in Italy.
Yes,
there was no Italy.
There were city-states
before. If you were 17, there's an ambassador from Italy. I seen it in a colonial movie. There was no fucking Italy. And it just makes me furious. But they left these places. They left these places. I know, it's weird. History.
Get the history out of the way. Now, go ahead. Talk more about history.
So they were leaving Germany because they were going back and forth. One prince decided they're going to be Catholic. We're Catholic. No, we're Protestant. We're Catholic. Whatever. They go fucking war with each other. The Pope or the Lutheran bishop or whatever stuff like that. It's mainly. I was raised Roman Catholic, so I'll say this. It was mainly Roman Catholics trying to doing shit to a lot of people because they had the power. And that's the reason why the French went so, like after all the revolutions, they kept on going against the church. You know why? Church kept on siding with the monarchy that was shitting on the people. So he finally said, fuck you. And so they became anti. Just like, I'll show you the opposite. In Poland, the church sided with Solidarity against the communists. And that's got the cred of the church back. But they shouldn't have been fucking those little kids. And they would have been sitting pretty right now.
Hey, man, in freedom there's give and
That's
take.
some irony in the Russian Catholic Church right now, isn't there? They like to preach that homosexuality leads to being a pedophile.
Yeah, listen, everyone needs their boogeyman.
Being a Catholic Church priest.
Imagine.
Pedophilia is normally pedophilia is normally not attached to homosexuality.
It's not, of course
it's mainly a heterosexual. It's a heterosexual. It's like a guy, and you see, for some reason, something about school teachers wanting to fuck their 14-year-old students sometimes.
Priests and school teachers.
You've seen that South Park episode?
It's always like a hot
where Kenny's little brother, the little Canadian baby, and the kindergarten teacher falls in love with him, and when they bring it up to all the cops, they're like, nice.
Nice. That's bizarre shit.
What, this guy is doing this to it was a little boy. Nice.
For religion comes from in there. If someone does it, when Jim Baker did that thing, God, I've confessed to God, and God has forgiven me. Oh, well, thanks for telling us. I didn't know. All the bad shit you did. You've been forgiven. Okay, it's like I don't have to explain. I don't have to do anything. I just have confessed my sins, and I've received the message that imagine that. It goes. Yes, I robbed the bank, but I apologize for that. And I realized I was wrong.
So we're good, right?
We're good, right? I'm out of here. The state forgave me. You couldn't hear that, but I heard it because it's the secret language we speak to each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's what you're doing all the time.
Yeah.
Just it's to protect your bad deeds. Right?
As the Keys Bartender podcast, do you want to switch to when you should stir drinks as opposed to shake them now, or should we?
That's
just
a good one too. No, that's a good one.
Should we keep doing politics and religion?
I'm glad you.
What's a bar? Wait a second. What do you do in a bar? What do you do in a bar except discuss weighty issues?
Oh no, that's exactly what you do.
Loudly.
Shut them down. Because,
loudly. Discuss them loudly. And
the
louder, the more drinking that there is.
Yeah. No, but we're gonna probably touch this. There is an asymmetric relationship.
So when you shake drinks and stir them in racism? Or what? Well, like, I've tried to...
Well, between the power. There's my friend right here.
Like,
you grab a drink and then come out? Okay, that's Melissa. She's going to be on... We'll have you on the second show then. We're going to have Melissa on.
Well, I'm curious about the asymmetric relationship between what and what?
Bartenders and their patrons.
Bartenders? Oh, and their patrons.
And their patrons.
Okay.
Yeah,
I thought you said the Patriots because we'd always be winning.
If the owner comes in...
And I hate the Patriots, by the way. I love bartending.
No, but the owner comes in and neuters a bartender and says, well, that's not our bar. It's But in most of the good bars, the bartender is like a boat captain.
Oh, I'm like a boat captain? I want to buy a hat.
You're the chief. You're the chief of that bar.
Yeah, no, I can
start introducing myself
see that.
as
So are you saying
Joshua.
that it attracts regulars? The personality of the bartender attracts the regular?
No, I'm saying it's an asymmetric relationship that sometimes people try to flip on its side and then come in there and do it.
Okay. Yeah.
This is why you wanted to talk about a bar issue? I wrote this in a previous thing where someone comes in and starts telling you how to fucking do your job.
Oh. I always go like, do you go into your doctor's office and tell them how to diagnose you? That's not the way you make a Manhattan. Do you go in and say, I don't have cancer?
It's all right. It's all right. No, wait, Josh. It's all right to tell them how you like your Manhattan or whatever you call it. Yes, but to go and change, you should make it my way for everyone. I go, what? Oh, well, that sounds like fucking... Yeah. That sounds like your church.
Well, this
like
is
your church thing. Everyone should pray to Jesus.
Yes.
I always
it's my
make sure I'm
church.
Educated on drinks in my profession because of this one story.
Yeah, no. Someone orders. If someone orders an old fashioned, you make a classical thing. I just happen
to know why a Manhattan's called a Manhattan, and this story made me want to make sure that I knew the background of anything.
Please tell.
Okay, so I had a lady come to me, and she goes, she ordered a Manhattan, Maker's Mark Manhattan. She comes to me and goes, this is not a Manhattan. I'm looking at her, and I'm like, okay. Well, okay. How do you like your Manhattan? She's like, well, I just like Maker's Mark. And what else did you put in there? I was like, well, there's 2 dashes of bitters in there. Oh, bitter. Why is there bitters in my... And I'm like, okay, what do you like? I like Maker's Mark and just a splash of sweet vermouth. And I said, okay, so that's how you need to order your drink. You want Maker's Mark up with a splash of sweet vermouth. She's just looking at me. I was like, well, the whole reason why it's called a Manhattan, and this is going to educate a lot of people on this Bartender's Bar podcast. I love it. It's called a Manhattan because the area code to Manhattan is 212. That is the actual recipe for the drink. It's 2 ounces of your whiskey or bourbon or whatever you like your base to be. All right? It's 1 ounce of your sweet vermouth. So if somebody goes, you put too much sweet vermouth. No, I didn't. I put an ounce, and you like less. And it's 2 dashes of your bitters. Yeah. That's why it's called
awesome.
what it's called.
That's awesome.
And so when you challenge me on this,
so what would a 305 be?
It's you just
3 shots of vodka, and there's 5 hours till you wake up.
There you go.
No, I was gonna go more 305 is whenever you get really drunk and you wake up in Pitbull's house.
How about
that's right up here.
About 3 ounces of tequila.
A few blocks away.
There's no thinking about it. And I'll give you 5 reasons why you're a dumbass.
You drink enough booze to where you wear pants too tight for you and a shirt too loose for you, and you have a bald head. I just described Pitbull. Sorry.
Pitbull, yeah.
Oh. Well,
and dark sunglasses.
I didn't know the 212.
I told him one day.
I didn't know the 212.
That's awesome, isn't it?
No, but I think the Manhattan. Did they have area codes back then?
Yes, they did. See, a lot of people think that the drinks that we have today are actually older than what they are. The Cosmopolitan was invented in the late 80s, and people think that's been around forever.
No. I was around for that.
No, the guy that invented it with the citrus vodka.
No, we used to make it. No.
It was the 80s.
No, Josh, I made it. I was bartending.
What, in the 70s?
No, in the mid-80s. Mid-80s.
Okay, mid-80s. I said late 80s, mid-80s, whatever. It was invented in the 80s. It was a guy.
But wait a minute. It still works.
The original, people just made it with whatever they wanted. But
there
the
wasn't
original
no citrus
recipe
vodka.
But it still works, because if the recipe for the Manhattan is 212, and let's say the area code just happened to come later, which happened to be 2, it still works. The explanation still works. It defines the recipe.
That's the way.
It's the same thing. It's like a Shirley Temple. People put Sprite.
That's the way I make my Manhattan.
Sprite didn't exist back in the day, so it was ginger ale and grenadine.
Yeah.
That's a real Shirley Temple.
But
you're not going to argue with a person that knows history of booze.
Oh no, I understand that, Josh. But my thing is, when someone orders a Manhattan. There's a whole bunch of other questions.
Well, it's just, the old-fashioned...
Do you want it up? Do you want it on the rocks?
Oh, yeah.
Do what kind of...
And plus the Manhattan...
Say, you know what? When you're having a martini drink or someone's ordering it, you got to ask them, how do you like it?
Oh, you have to every time.
You have to ask
what kind of glass?
You're supposed to stir a martini every time.
That tight ass person's going to be like that.
Martini every time, but then people are like, why isn't it watered down and a lot of ice chips in my vodka?
We're going to be on live.
It's because I gave you a martini.
This is recorded.
I was shaking crazy.
Yeah, not a 007. Yeah.
The 007.
Slap across your face.
A good argument.
Half gin, half vodka, half... Lillet? Is it Lillet liquor he puts in?
James Bond?
James Bond. Is it Lillet he puts in there? It's like an Italian liquor.
He was in code.
Half gin, half vodka, Lillet.
Shaken, brain fart. It was a brain fart. Yeah. Casino Royale when he did it. And he just goes up. He didn't know what he was going to order.
Yeah, he just made that up.
I'm just going to make one up.
And
I'm just going to make one up here.
Everybody,
then, you know what?
Everybody thinks
James Bond. Why don't you just drink it neat? Be a man.
I always tell
chilled.
people, why aren't you shaking my martini? I was like, I'm getting it just as cold and it's going to taste better. Relax. And now I have regulars that come to me because I'm the only person in Key Largo doesn't just shake the shit out of their martini.
I did. That's what I do.
You just shake the shit out of it?
Well,
that's what most people want, but I like to be different.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I shake.
And by different, I mean I like to do things the right way.
So how do you get the ice cubes out of the drink?
You know what, though?
How do you get the ice cubes out of the drink?
Strain
we'll do a poll on that.
Oh, I
just
see.
Stir it. So
you just stir it.
The way that the stirring spoon is actually built with the little spirals in it is so whenever you stir it around the glass, you can keep the back of the spoon to the shaker. So there's a way to stir where the back of the spoon stays on the shaker, and you stir it, and you get it just as cold as shaking it. Except
this is like mixology shit.
And you don't. I know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I love
for being
it though.
A bartender on the Bartender's
I think it's great.
Podcast.
It's not all. Hey, Josh.
I'm stuck in my way.
I know.
I'm stuck in my way.
I know. I've been bartending thing. I learned about people. And I read people when they come up. I look at them. I can tell a person that's coming up, they're just ordering a cocktail for the sake of ordering a cocktail, or they're coming up and that person has. What the hell is that?
That cat's chasing like a palmetto bug or something.
A little lizard.
Lizard?
Hey, did it get it? Oh, come on, let it go. Come on.
Why is it called a cocktail?
The original cocktail was actually what we can now refer to as an old-fashioned. When people would say, I'd like a cocktail, they would actually make an old-fashioned. All right? So I don't know how it became from old-fashioned to every mixed drink is a cocktail. But I know that the original term cocktail was for sugar and whiskey, and it was an orange peel that they would do the zest on. It's not like what you get now where they muddle everything,
right.
You know. It was even down to where they would pour the whiskey over the sugar cube and all that stuff. But that was when people ordered a cocktail.
That's enough.
That was the original cocktail.
That's enough of the bartending thing. This
and
is
now we call it an
bartender. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. We're at the catch right now.
Hey, we're in the middle of a conversation.
I know. This is my choice. I got the controls right here.
Let's go back to talking about capitalism.
No, well,
it'll let us talk.
It's not a show about making drinks.
Tale of a cock or cock of a tail. I'm curious.
I'm just joking.
It's not a show about making drinks.
Want to see my cocktail?
No, I got mine. Okay, I got all the cocktail you need.
All right, I guess we're saying goodbye.
Yeah, we are. We got to do a live episode. We got to do a live episode. It's going to fucking last forever. We're
doing a live episode tonight.
Yeah, right now. Coming up
right after this.
We're doing it right now. You're going out live.
I'm going out live right now.
No, you're not.
No.
See, you have no control here. I have control. Okay, this is Jim the Keys bartender. Let's thank Papa Joe and Josh.
Goodbye, everybody.
Now, already. Okay, so let's see this conundrum. The next show we're going to do is going to appear a week and a half before
this show.
We're
doing some podcast magic.
So we're going to go in the future. We're in the future now. Now we're in the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the next one.
What does he mean?
That's going to be in the present. Do you get it?
Can we beam to November 2020? I want to see who wins.
Okay. That's it. That's all. Thank you.